Hi, I'm outdoor writer Rob Streeter, and this video is another in the Warmwater fly tying series that I'm putting together. This is on the jerk fly. I came up with this fly about 25 years ago. At the time I was fishing with my brother, and I saw that I needed a fly that would work equivalent to the jerk baits that he was using. He's a bass master and he's got all kinds of the plastic lures and everything. I needed a fly that was going to work like that, something that was neutrally buoyant. So this is kind of a weird fly. It's got both weight and flotation, and my goal was to get something that just kind of hanged in the water column. It wouldn't sink and it wouldn't raise. Kind of in the middle, neutrally buoyant, and this is what I came up with. Here's how we tie the jerk fly. If you stick around to the end, I'll have some tips on how to fish this fly and get the most out of it. Here's how we tie the jerk fly. I've got a bass style stinger hook. This one's a bigger one. It's a size 4. I usually tie this with a bigger hook for the bigger smallmouths that we get into in the river. So I've already added the lead wire for the weight, and what I'm going to do is just fix the ends up so that they're all down and they're not going to snag the rest of the material. I usually take these needle nose pliers and pinch the ends down. So we're going to use 2 colors of thread, and we're going to start with white. I'm going to start at the head of the fly and lock the weight material in and run this all the way to the back. I'll trim that off. And this fly uses saddle hackle, white saddle hackle. So I will get those ready and we'll come back and put those on. So we'll get all of those together. And I usually use 4. And we're going to tie those in. Get those all down good. And I'm going to trim the stems so they're just behind the weight wire. And I leave them long like that because it makes for a more durable fly if you take it and you bind it all in. Fish won't be pulling the tail feathers off when you catch one. So this fly, we add some flash, and we've got holographic flash, and I'm going to take 4 strands of that and just kind of put it on the top. And we'll do the same thing with that. We're just going to trim it off and tie it all in behind the wire. The weight wire. There we go. Come back to about here. Next piece is we got to put the flotation in. So just craft store sheet foam. And a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch wide. We're going to cut a strip that's about 4 inches long, and we'll trim a V in the end of that, and right about here we'll tie it in. Get that all down good. Bring our thread up here, and this is going to go in a spiral. I'm going to kind of pull it and stretch it and spiral it. So it's up to here. And we'll tie that off. And trim it. And get everything bound down. Bring the thread to the back. And we're going to use a piece of pearlescent body tubing. I'm going to cut it about that long. I like to leave a little frizz in the back. I'll get that core material out. Slide that on. And tie everything down. And you can't really use the whip finish tool. So we are going to just pull the bobbin down a little bit, and we'll do it by hand. So you just cross the thread like that, and do about 3 wraps. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll use our tip of the whip finish tool to just kind of pull that down, make it tight, and we'll trim it off. And then we're just going to bring our other thread and lasso everything up to the front. So it's just behind the hook eye. We'll get that started. Trim the thread. I'll make a couple more wraps. Just to make sure that's all down tight. And we could go around and trim all this. Okay, so we'll just get everything bound down and make the head of the fly. And if you have a little piece of the body tubing that you didn't get or whatever and you see it later, you can always take a thread burner and just melt it back. whip finish. Wet head cement. I do both the back part and the head of the fly. And we'll let that dry, and the last step is we're going to put eyes on it, and I'll show you how to put those on in a minute. So to put the eyes on, I use, it's actually archery cement, and I'll turn this over on its side, just add a drop of glue, and we'll put an eye on there. About there. We'll let that dry, and I'll do the other side and I'll show you what the finished fly looks like. So here's a finished one. This is another one that I did. So you get the two eyes, and that's the jerk fly, and it's a great fly for bass especially, but I've caught pike and pickerel with it as well. My favorite place to fish this fly is in creek mouths. You can see there's a creek mouth coming up on the left here. This is on the Mohawk River, so it's a big river. And we have baby herring that stage up here, and they hide in the creek mouths overnight. So getting in the morning and working the jerk fly up the creek mouths and along the river, actually right where the creek empties in, is a great way to catch decent fish like these. If you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. I've enjoyed putting these together, and we're hearing from folks throughout the United States and even in some other countries. And I want to keep things going and keep growing the channel and keep interacting with you folks. So thank you for watching.